Kevin, you have to make it to the party. Everyone's going to be up for one surprise. Oh, I can't wait. I feel like my heart is going to leap out of my chest. Promise me you'll make it, even if you arrive late. No excuses, Kevin. You have to come. If not for anything else, for me.
Okay, Rose. I don't see what's the big deal, though. I've been to boss's office parties before. It's pretty boring if you ask me.
Kevin fulfilled the project he was being sent for. He was to return to Bloomington. It was just about a week ago that Rosabella called Kevin to see how he was doing. She was happy to hear that he would be back soon and mentioned that Baum was planning a big party for everyone at the office. Kevin wasn't too excited, but Rosabella seemed all too perked about it. As a matter of fact, Kevin was planning not to go. But when Rosabella called at the last moment and once again requested that he be there, Kevin couldn't say no. He knew Rosabella for so many years now, and he had a rather close bond with her. So Kevin drove out a little early from Chicago. It took about 3 hours to Bloomington, and by the time Kevin reached anywhere near the office, it was nearly 12. However, that wasn't an issue because as far as he knew, bounce parties usually continued late into the night. Kevin checked himself out in the rear-view mirror. He brushed back his hair and straightened his shirt before he finally drove around the curb to the office building. He was quite surprised to see a whole crowd of people huddled in front of the entrance. There were police cars and ambulances. Kevin quickly parked his car and ran out to see the matter. He was shocked to see paramedics carrying away a lifeless body. He looked through the crowd and spotted his boss standing to the far corner, occasionally passing a glance at the scene and talking on his phone. The other employees all murmured to each other. It was a life gone too soon. How could she do this? This is unbelievable. Just then, someone caught hold of Kevin by his shoulder. He turned to see it was one of his co-workers, Samantha. She looked devastated, her eyes watering up. Kevin, Rosabella, she's no more. Kevin was thundered. What? How did this happen? I spoke to her just an hour ago. Douglas Bound was known for hosting huge parties at the office, and everyone at the office had seen it coming. When he promoted some of his workers, even Rosabella. Everyone had arrived at the building at around 9 and were having a good time. Bound had proposed a toast to his employees and thanked them for their hard work and dedication. He had arranged a special fireworks show that was to take place around 12 in the front of the building. It was supposed to be a celebration for all the progress the company had made. Rosabella arrived looking exceptionally beautiful. Samantha had spoken to her for a while before she was carried away by some other friends. About 20 minutes to 12, everyone huddled outside to view the fireworks. Bound had arranged some men for the task. It was just when the crowd were shouting out the countdown when they heard a piercing scream of a woman from up top. It was seconds before the crowd screamed out in horror to see Rosabella was plummeting off the rooftop, falling from a 10-story building onto the hard concrete ground. Bound was devastated. No one at the office could believe what they heard. They couldn't believe what they had just seen with their own eyes. The police and paramedics arrived soon afterwards. From what it appeared, it seemed that Rosabella had taken her own life. Kevin had a hard time believing that Rosabella could do such a thing. Why would anyone suddenly decide to take their own life? She was so excited about the party just some time back. Kevin had no doubt that there was something fishy about the matter. What made things more confusing was that he barely had any contact with Rosabella. In the previous months, he had been out of town. He was unaware of anything that had been happening in Bloomington. Even if Rosabella was to take her life, why would she do it? What had compelled her to think it had to end right then and there?